All right. So next is from Randy Vasquez, Conan meet and greet question. Hey guys, wanted to write in and say how cool it was to meet Conan at Barrio Toys in Roseville. Where was this at? Did you do an appearance, Conan?
Sacramento.
He's clearly loved by the Latinx. I'm gonna say it says he writes he's clearly loved by the Latino community, but I have to be appropriate and call it the Latinx community. Would you agree with that,
No,
Conan?
I'd rather you be inappropriate.
As I was one of the only white guys in line, superfan Roy Lucier told me that he had been bugging Conan for years to do it. Thank you, K-Dog. I really enjoyed the conversation with Kenny Bolin and Casey and the Sunshine Band as well as disco music. My favorite disco song ever is Heaven Knows by Donna Summer. To me, she's the greatest artist ever. Where would you guys put her in your disco greats rankings? Um, I feel Love by Donna Summer is one of my top favorite songs of all time. Top 10.
And that was one of the first songs that incorporated like electronic music, which would later turn into
Ex-
EMD. Yeah,
Excellent song. Good, great.
yeah,
Like whenever I play that song on my computer, like at work,
yeah. It still
everybody's like
rocks.
vibing.
It's like 40
Still
years old and
rocks.
it still rocks. Yeah,
Yeah. I
but I would
feel
say,
love. Great song. Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun,
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 dun.
dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun,
I would
dun,
put Donna Summer
dun.
probably number one on my disco list of all time.
Interesting.
Uh, Probably closely followed by the Bee Gees, then maybe the Village People, and then maybe Casey and the Sunshine Band. But there was so many. And what was the song that he was talking about? Wasn't he talking about a song?
It's called Heaven. Oh, what is this here?
Heaven knows. Okay,
Heaven knows. Yeah.
bro, that's one of my favorite songs by her too. There was actually a duet with a group called Brooklyn Dreams, where the main, and this is just nerd because I used to work at a record store and read this. But the lead singer is called Joe Beans Esposito, who his son ended up pitching for Colorado. But anyways, that's a great song. Heaven knows not the good taste, my friend. What's his name? Oh, Randy Vasquez.
Ready?
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
met him. Yeah.
he's been around tables. Okay, next is
Yeah.
from get your kazoo ready for the next email submission.
All
Do
right.
you have it in your hand? Do you have it ready?
Yep.
Next from Mike Durbin. Subject is leg slapping. Hi Conan and Glenn. I went to the Impact TV tapings here in Chicago this past Friday night. I don't watch Impact or know who a lot of the wrestlers were, but I had a great time and took some pretty good photos from my front row seat. See attached photos. Okay, Joe, pull the photo up.
Yeah, here's
They-
his
they-
photo of Nick Aldis.
Okay, but look at the upper right hand corner. What does that
Oh,
say?
Mike Durbin Productions.
He wants credit for taking a picture of somebody. Mike Durbin
Right.
Productions.
There's Jordan
Right?
Grace.
Kazoo that. Just kazoo that. Double kazoo for the. The only negative aspect of the show is a blatant and gratuitous leg slapping in every single match. Even matches with veterans, such as someone who might be on probation at K100.
Huh.
Every single match had at least a dozen leg slaps. Some of them were so obvious and lazy it seemed like they were doing it as a joke. The most surprising offender was Sami Callihan, who's supposed to be this crazy badass fighter, and he slapped his leg while wearing black jeans. It barely made any noise and was totally pointless, but he did it anyways. Perhaps out of habit. What the F is going on here? Isn't Landstorm an agent there? I ran into my great good friend Ricky Morton in the hallway. I know he was their agent also. Why are these agents putting a stop to this ridiculous leg slapping, or are the talent just not listening? Thank you. That's from Mike Durbin Productions. Check out my photos from the Impact and NBA on my Twitter at Mike Durbin. Mike Durbin, I'm not going to do. You're 100% right, and this should go viral. We should be calling out this stupid, terrible, fake work, which is like it looks. I can't watch. Bro, I've literally. I would want. I'm back in. Like some of the wrestling storylines are good these days, right? But I'm fast forwarding through a lot of the shows because the leg slapping is so gratuitous that I can't watch the matches. It's atrocious. It looks stupid. It looks fake. Maybe this little echo chamber, like since nobody's calling it out, but people like me, they're like, well, Disco's calling out, so we must be doing it right. It's like no, the Impact, nobody watches Impact. You know why nobody's watching Impact? Maybe because of what Mike Durbin said. Everybody's slapping their thighs and simulating the sound openly.
Well, not just that, Glenn. It's all the
Yeah.
little other things like not working the crowd, not selling,
Right.
all those things all in court. And you're like, come on, who trained you? What
Bro.
did you not watch wrestling from the old days, how it was done? How can you not understand that it's better how it be? It's then that's not old man you barking at the clouds. It is what it is. I
Right.
understand and I've adjusted that there's things today that work and would not have worked before. I get that, but there's a lot of from before that you can still incorporate today, and it's gonna work. A steering wheel that hasn't changed much in over I don't know how many years because it's a steering wheel. You don't need to change it.
Right.
So
I'll say this. It's like, bro, everybody talks about the evolution of wrestling. All right, well, evolution is like a positive word, but if this is the evolution, it's like this is not positive. Not a lot of people watching your show. It's like you're evolving the business by doing all this new stuff, but like this stuff is not resonating with drawing fans, which is ultimately what you want to do in a business where you want to make money. Fake fighting and taking bumps and stuff. It's like, dude, it's like, come on. Like,
and let me tell you about
it ain't gonna change either, too. It's like, so.
Yeah, let me tell you about the leg slaps. You could change it because it's so ubiquitous that sometimes we don't bother to tell them, and I'm guilty of that too because I got so much going on that sometimes I forget.
Right.
But all it boils down to is a talent meeting or a memo where you say you cannot do that, and I may have to do that in Mexico,
bro.
And
do
and,
this.
and a lot of times, Disco, I tell people individually. But it slowly creeps back in, and I actually use this example. I go, bro, do you not get hot when fans are
mimicking the thing in the crowd?
Right.
They're slapping their thighs along with the
show, and they're asking you for an autograph, and one guy's slapping the other guy and hitting himself in the chest or in the leg, and the other guy's selling it. They're making fun of us.
Right.
And that's your fault.
Dude, I will challenge you to do this. And I said, bro, if I ever became, I have no skin in the wrestling game anymore. But if they ever hired me to do, like I'm an agent or in charge, whatever. If I have a position of authority, I'm benching the people that are slapping their thighs. If you're slapping your thighs, I'm not going to use you, bro. That's literally what you have to do. And I'm challenging you. Are you willing to do that? And tell these guys, look, dude, I think this is costing us fans and money. I think it's turning people off. And I'm telling you, don't do this anymore. And if you do it, I'm not going to put you on TV. Are you willing to go to that extreme and do that?
Oh,
maybe?
No, my whole thing is I would basically put out a memo and say you can't do this on TV anymore, and if you're going to do it in a match, you need to ask for permission. Why? And if it's a one time in a whole show and something that's
should be the finish. Shawn Michaels. Everybody's talking about Shawn Michaels. Yeah, Shawn Michaels would do it on the finish, or makes it sound like he's slapping.
Yeah, and
like
he didn't do it 6 times during the match before he did the finish.
And he didn't do it obviously.
And the gimmick is he's slapping his thigh because he's hitting you, and he's like cracking your jaw, and he's pinning you.
Right.
That's instead what I was saying. That's what the sound is supposed to be. Right.
I see people nowadays on TV blading in front of the camera, talking in front of the camera. They don't even throw their head down to talk. They just talk like bro. I'm thinking, do you at any time think that the camera could be on a close-up with you while you're talking?
Right. Yeah, and plus two is like they're literally slapping because every kicking motion now is a thigh slap. You're kicking somebody in the stomach and you're slapping your thigh. I can't show me one instance in the human history where you kick somebody in the belly and it makes this sound. It's like it's not gonna make that sound, right? All right. So next is from we're gonna have a lot of good YouTube clips for this week. So
for sure.
Yeah. Next one, Jack Hayes, and subject is getting a new wrestling dirt sheets guy. Hi, since you guys kicked off Billy, are you going to get another dirt sheet guy? Also, P.S. Conan, will we ever do any AAA shows in the U.S.? If Jason Powell had time to come on our show every week, I'd be interested in having him on every week because he's a pretty honest guy who likes sports too.
I was thinking about that, Di. I don't know that obviously he's a wrestling reporter. He reviews shows, but as far as like a dirt sheet guy, he doesn't dip into the dirt and the rumors and stuff that much.
No, like I always said, like he's like the one of the guys that just is not these toxic personalities, and so he's just bro. He likes fantasy, he likes sports, and he likes wrestling. It's like I would not mind talking to Jason Powell every week. I like the guy. So he's the first Thirsty guy that I ever shared I had a relationship with and like conversed with on the phone, and like I would be willing. I liked him when we had him on a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
He's a good
Yeah,
guest.
audience likes him a lot too.
What do you think, Conan?
I don't think we need a dirt sheet guy, but you never
Right.
know. And basically, Billy was recommended by Disco. I didn't know who the he was,
Right.
and but even Disco, I don't try to put the onyx on him, because
Right.
he was entertaining, but
Right.
he got out of
Yeah.
line.
Right. His stuff on
And
the show was never an issue. Like he was
right,
good. Yeah. So.
except for some of his ranting, but
Right.
we and he was long-winded. And
Right.
as far as the United States, believe me when I tell you this, or I wouldn't say it at all. We are working on something big, and when the news comes out,